No pain, no gain. You see, there's a saying we've all heard, no pain, no gain. It's easy to repeat, easy to put on a poster. But when life comes knocking with that pain, when the struggle gets real, that's when most people want to quit. They want to turn back. They say, why me? Why is it so hard? But you've got to flip that question. It's not why me, it's why not me? Why shouldn't you be the one to bear the weight, to go through the fire, to be tested? Because the struggle you're facing is only building you for the next level. Diamonds aren't formed without pressure. Muscles don't grow without resistance. So why should your success be any different? Now listen, growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. Growth happens when you're uncomfortable, when you're pushed beyond your limits, when your mind says I'm done, but your heart says just one more step. That's where the magic happens, right past the point where you wanted to quit. That's where you find out who you really are. People look at the glory, but they don't see the grind. They see the finished product, but they don't see the sweat, the long nights, the sacrifices. Everybody wants to shine, but nobody wants to polish. Everybody wants success, but not everybody is willing to embrace the pain that comes with it. And that's the difference right there. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the willingness to endure. You have to fall. Not backwards, fall forward. Fall with the faith that every stumble is a step closer to your goal. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to hear no more than you hear yes, but those no's aren't a rejection, they're a redirection. They're guiding you, shaping you, preparing you for the win that's coming, but only if you keep pushing, only if you keep believing, only if you don't give up when it hurts. Think about a seed in the soil. It has to break apart. It has to push through dirt, through darkness just to reach the light. But once it breaks through, it grows, it blooms, it becomes something greater. That's what you're doing when you push through the pain. You're breaking through the dirt, through the doubts, through the fears. So let that pain be your teacher. Let it show you how strong you can be, how much you can take, and how far you can go. Turn your pain into power. Turn your struggle into strength. And remember, the struggle you're in today is building the strength you need for tomorrow. Don't wish for it to be easy, wish for it to be worth it. Because when you look back, when you stand on that mountaintop, when you finally get that win, you'll realize the pain wasn't there to stop you. It was there to show you what you're made of. It was there to teach you that no pain, no gain isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. This speech focuses on the resilience, determination, and perspective needed to turn challenges into opportunities in a style that carries the power and motivation often seen in Denzel Washington's talks. You know, everybody talks about wanting to be successful, wanting to reach the top, but what they don't talk about is the price you have to pay to get there. See, the road to success is never straight, never smooth. It's full of twists, turns, and obstacles that'll test you, break you down, and make you question whether it's all worth it. And that's where perseverance comes in. That's where you find out if you've got what it takes to push through, to keep going when every part of you wants to give up. You're going to face moments when you think, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. It's taking too long. And in those moments, when doubt is the loudest voice in the room, that's when you have to dig deep. Because success doesn't come to those who wait for it. It comes to those who work for it. Those who show up day in and day out, putting in the time, putting in the sweat, even when no one is watching. Even when there's no applause, no recognition. You can't take shortcuts. You can't skip the process. If you want to build a house that'll stand strong, you don't start with the roof, you start with the foundation. And that foundation is built with every small effort, every extra hour, every sacrifice. It's built when you push through the pain, the exhaustion, the doubt. And let me tell you something, the power of perseverance isn't just about pushing through once or twice, it's about doing it every single time. It's about showing up with the same determination on your worst day as you do on your best day. And that's the thing people don't realize. The tough days, the painful days, those are the days that shape you. Those are the days that separate the dreamers from the doers. Anybody can keep going when things are easy, when everything is going their way. But when life punches you in the face, when the doors close in your face, that's when you find out what you're really made of. That's when perseverance kicks in. Because at the end of the day, perseverance is about knowing that every little step, every little effort, every little struggle, it all adds up. It may not seem like it right now, but every time you push through, you're getting stronger, you're getting closer. And one day you'll look back and you'll realize that the power wasn't in the goal. You had the power all along. It was in your persistence. It was in your refusal to give up. It was in your ability to stand up one more time than you fell down. Keep going, keep pushing. Because the power of perseverance will take you places that talent, luck, and connections never will. Life has a funny way of testing you, of putting challenges in your path that make you question everything. It'll hit you when you least expect it, knock you down, and dare you to get back up. And when that pain comes, when that struggle comes, most people want to run. They want to hide, to avoid it, to wish it away. But let me tell you something, real strength doesn't come from avoiding the struggle. It comes from embracing it. It comes from staring that pain in the face and saying, all right, let's go. Because the pain, the challenges, the tough times, they aren't there to stop you. They're there to shape you. They're there to mold you into the person you need to become. You can't expect to grow without a little discomfort, without a little pressure. You think a butterfly becomes beautiful by staying in its cocoon? No, it has to fight to break free. It has to struggle. And in that struggle, it finds its strength. It finds its wings. The same goes for you. Those sleepless nights, those failures, those moments when you feel like the world's on your shoulders, they're not your enemies. They're your teachers. They're building you, toughening you, preparing you for what's ahead. But only if you're willing to lean in, to face the pain head on, to understand that the discomfort isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign that you're on the right track. It's a sign that you're pushing beyond your limits, breaking through to a new level of yourself. So don't run from the struggle. Don't run from the pain. Embrace it. Learn from it. Let it teach you how strong you can be. Because every time you face it, every time you push through, you're building something inside you that can't be bought, can't be faked, and can't be taken away. You're building resilience. You're building courage. And you're building a mindset that says, no matter what life throws at me, I'm ready for it. And when you finally break through, when you reach that goal, when you see the light on the other side, you'll understand that it wasn't the destination that mattered most. It was the journey. It was the struggle that made you, that taught you what you're capable of, that prepared you to stand tall when the winds of life blow the hardest. So don't wish for it to be easy. Don't wish for the pain to disappear. Wish for the strength to handle it. Wish for the wisdom to learn from it. Because the struggle, the pain, that's where the real growth happens. That's where you find out who you really are. You know, life has a way of knocking you down. And when it does, it's easy to feel like you've hit rock bottom, like there's nowhere left to go. But I'm here to tell you, when you fall, don't fall back. Fall forward. Don't let the fall define you, let it refine you. Because every time you stumble, every time you make a mistake, it's not the end, it's an opportunity. It's a chance to get back up and come back stronger, smarter, more determined. See, so many people let their failures stop them in their tracks. They get hit once and they think it's game over. But life isn't about avoiding failure, it's about using it. It's about understanding that each misstep, each mistake is a lesson in disguise. It's like a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Each strike might seem harsh, but it's shaping you into something more, something better, something unstoppable. When you fall forward, you're saying to the world, I'm not done yet. You're saying, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, I got knocked down. But I'm getting up again, and I'm taking everything I've learned with me. Because let's be real, no one ever learned anything by staying in their comfort zone. No one ever grew by playing it safe. Growth happens when you take a risk, when you put yourself out there, and yes, when you fall flat on your face sometimes. But here's the secret. It's not the fall that matters. It's how you get up. It's what you do next. It's how you dust yourself off, stand tall, and keep moving forward, even when it hurts. Even when the people around you are counting you out. Even when the odds seem stacked against you. Those are the moments that define you, that build the kind of resilience that you can't fake, that you can't learn in a book. When you fall forward, you turn your setbacks into comebacks. You turn your failures into fuel. And that's when you find out that you're stronger than you ever thought you were. You find out that the pain didn't break you, it built you. It built your character, your strength, your grit. It taught you that the world can knock you down, but it can't keep you down unless you let it. So the next time life knocks you off your feet, don't fall back into old habits. Don't fall back into doubt. Fall forward into growth. Fall forward into your potential. Let every setback propel you closer to your purpose. Because as long as you're falling forward, you're still moving in the right direction. And one day when you look back, you'll see that every fall, every failure, every moment of doubt was just a stepping stone to something greater. You know, people love to talk about wanting to grow, wanting to become better, but they forget one thing: real growth doesn't happen in comfort. Real growth starts the moment you step out of that safe little bubble you've been living in. It starts when you push past what you think you can handle, when you step into the unknown, into the uncomfortable, into the place where everything inside of you is screaming to turn back. That's where the magic happens. See, comfort is the enemy of progress. It feels good, it's easy, it's familiar, but it'll keep you stuck in the same place. It'll lull you into believing that you're doing fine when deep down you know there's more inside of you. But when you push yourself beyond that comfort zone, that's when you find out what you're really made of. That's when you discover that you're stronger, tougher, and more resilient than you ever gave yourself credit for. You think an athlete becomes a champion by doing what's easy. No. They become champions when they push past the point of pain, past the point where their body says, I can't take any more. They run that extra mile, lift that extra weight, stay late after practice when everyone else has gone home. They do what's uncomfortable because they know that's where the growth is. And the same goes for you. You can't expect to reach new heights while staying on the same level. Imagine a seed trying to grow. It's buried under dirt, in the darkness, with all that pressure pushing down on it. But it doesn't just stay buried, does it? It pushes through, it breaks through the soil, stretches toward the light, and that's how it becomes something beautiful. That's you too. That pressure, that discomfort you're feeling, that's you pushing through the dirt, breaking through to become something more. So don't be afraid of stepping into the unknown. Don't shy away from the challenge. Lean into it. Embrace the discomfort. Let it push you. Let it stretch you. Because that's how you find out what you're capable of. That's how you grow into the person you're meant to be. And when you finally look back, you'll see that every uncomfortable step, every challenging moment was just getting you ready for where you're meant to go. Because that's where the real growth happens, not in the comfort zone, but far, far outside of it. Everybody talks about being motivated like it's this magic fuel that's going to carry you through life. But motivation is a temporary thing. It's like a spark. It flares up, gets you all excited, makes you feel like you can take on the world. But what happens when that spark dies down? What happens when you wake up one morning and you don't feel like doing the work? You don't feel like chasing that dream, putting in those extra hours, or facing that challenge head on? That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning long after motivation fades. It's not about how you feel on a given day. It's about what you've committed to doing day in and day out, no matter what. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. It's the difference between those who try and those who achieve. You see, discipline means showing up when it's hard, when it's cold outside and you don't want to leave your bed, when your friends are out having a good time and you've got to be up early the next morning to keep grinding. Discipline is that voice in your head that says you made a promise to yourself and you're going to keep it. It's pushing through, even when no one's watching, even when there's no one there to cheer you on or give you a pat on the back. Because that's where true growth happens. Not in the moments when you feel inspired, but in those moments when you don't, and you still put in the work. When you're tired, when you're frustrated, when everything inside you is saying, take a break, take it easy, but you keep going anyway. That's when you build character. That's when you separate yourself from the pack. Anybody can show up when they're feeling motivated. It's easy to put in the work when the energy is high, when you're pumped up. But what happens on those days when you're dragging, when the doubts start creeping in, when the results aren't coming as quickly as you'd hoped? That's when discipline steps in and says, I'm still here. We're still moving forward. Discipline is like a muscle, you've got to train it. It doesn't come naturally, you've got to build it, one decision at a time. And it's hard because it means saying no to a lot of things you'd rather say yes to. It means doing what's right, not what's easy. But the reward, it's worth it. Because discipline doesn't just get you to the finish line, it shapes who you are along the way. It gives you pride in knowing that you did what you said you would, even when it was tough, even when it felt like the whole world was against you. Everybody wants to talk about success, about winning, about reaching that pinnacle, but nobody talks about the work. Nobody talks about the hours spent when nobody's watching, the sacrifices, the sweat, the tears. See, it's easy to admire the trophy, to celebrate the victory, but what you don't see is the grind it took to get there. The days when you wanted to quit, but didn't. The moments when you were the last one in the gym, the last one in the office, still pushing, still fighting, even when there was no guarantee that it would pay off. That's the value of hard work. Hard work is that secret ingredient that most people miss. It's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who do. It's that willingness to go the extra mile when no one else is looking, to do the job right, even when it would be easier to cut corners. Because here's the truth, there are no shortcuts to greatness. None. You don't get to skip the struggle. You don't get to sidestep the pain. You've got to earn it. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not willing to outwork the next person, that talent means nothing. If you're not willing to wake up early, stay up late, to dig in when the going gets tough, then all that talent is just potential, and potential doesn't pay the bills. Potential doesn't get you to the top. Work does. And the funny thing is, hard work isn't glamorous. It's not flashy. It's not something you post on social media. It's those quiet moments when you're putting in the effort, when you're doing the hard things that no one will ever see. It's not the moments in the spotlight, it's the hours in the shadows where you're building yourself, molding yourself one rep, one call, one step at a time. Think of it like this: hard work is like laying bricks, one brick at a time, day after day. And on its own, one brick doesn't look like much, it's just a small piece. But when you keep stacking those bricks, when you stay consistent, when you refuse to cut corners, one day you look up and you've built a fortress that's unshakable, because it's built on a foundation of sweat and determination. And yeah, it's going to be tough. There will be days when you don't see the progress, when you wonder if it's all worth it. But those are the days that count the most. Those are the days that build you. Because success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. It's about knowing that you left it all out there, that you didn't hold back, that you gave it everything you had, even when it wasn't easy, even when nobody was cheering you on. So embrace the grind, embrace the hard work. Because that's what makes the victory so sweet. It's knowing that when you finally reach that mountaintop, when you finally get that win, you earned it, you deserved it. Not because you were lucky, not because it fell into your lap, but because you put in the hours, because you did what others weren't willing to do. And that's something nobody can ever take away from you. And when people look at you, when they see your success, they'll see the shine, but you'll know about the sweat. They'll see the glory, but you'll remember the grind. And that's what makes it all worthwhile. Because true success doesn't come from the end result, it comes from the journey, from the work, from the hustle. And that's where you find out what you're really made of. You know, there's this idea out there that if you work hard enough, if you push long enough, everything's just going to fall into place right away. But let me tell you something, success doesn't happen overnight. It's a long game, a marathon, not a sprint. It's about showing up day in and day out, staying patient, even when the results aren't coming as fast as you want them to. Patience is the difference between those who give up too soon and those who stick around long enough to see their dreams become reality. See, everybody wants the glory, but nobody wants the waiting. Nobody wants those in between moments when you're working so hard and it feels like nothing is moving, when it feels like you're just spinning your wheels in the mud, like the finish line keeps moving further away. But those are the moments when patience is your best friend. Because patience isn't just about waiting, it's about having the right attitude while you wait. It's about trusting the process, knowing that if you keep putting in the work, if you keep pushing, your time is coming. You've got to understand that everything worth having takes time. A seed doesn't turn into a tree overnight. You plant it, you water it, you nurture it, and for a while it seems like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, that seed is growing roots, it's getting stronger, it's preparing to break through. And that's how life works too. Your efforts might not show up right away, but that doesn't mean they're not making a difference. It doesn't mean the breakthrough isn't coming. Patience is about staying focused, even when you don't see immediate results. It's easy to stay motivated when you're seeing wins, when you're feeling like you're making progress, but can you keep going when things slow down? When you're stuck in that space between where you are and where you want to be? That's when patience matters most. That's when you've got to keep showing up, even when the world seems to be moving faster than you, even when it feels like you're the only one not getting ahead. And here's the thing, impatience is the enemy of progress. It makes people give up too soon. It makes people jump from one thing to the next, looking for a quick fix, looking for shortcuts. But success doesn't come to those who rush, it comes to those who are willing to grind it out, to keep chipping away at the goal, even when it feels like they're getting nowhere. Because those little efforts, those little moments of persistence, they add up. They build a foundation that's rock solid, a foundation that can't be shaken when the winds of life come blowing through. So don't rush the process. Don't get discouraged just because your time hasn't come yet. Focus on putting in the work, on getting better every single day, and let patience do the rest. Because when you have patience, you're saying to yourself, I believe in my journey. I believe that if I keep showing up, keep giving my best, then the results will come, and they will. It might not be on your timeline, but it'll be right on time. And when that time comes, when all the patience pays off, you'll look back and realize that it was all worth it. You'll see that the waiting, the struggling, the doubts, those were the things that made you stronger. Those were the things that prepared you for the moment when everything clicked into place. So be patient, stay steady, keep the faith. Because the journey is long, but the rewards are greater than you can imagine. And when you reach that destination, you'll know that you didn't just take the easy road, you took the right road. And that makes all the difference. You know, we all face obstacles. Life has a way of throwing challenges our way that can make us feel like we're climbing a mountain with no end in sight. But let me tell you something, those obstacles, they're not the end of your story. They're just the beginning of a new chapter. Every obstacle you encounter is an opportunity, a chance to rise above, to show what you're made of, to prove to yourself and to the world that you won't be defined by your circumstances. Think about it, every great story you've ever heard, every hero you've ever admired faced some kind of obstacle. Whether it was a setback, a failure, or a mountain of doubt, it was the way they responded to those challenges that made them who they are. They didn't back down. They didn't throw in the towel. They stood tall, looked that obstacle straight in the eye and said, not today, and that's exactly what you've got to do. When you face an obstacle, it's easy to feel defeated, to want to crawl back into your comfort zone and pretend like it's not happening. But remember, the obstacle is the way. It's the path to growth. Each challenge is a lesson, a stepping stone on your journey. It's teaching you resilience, teaching you to dig deep, to find strength in places you didn't even know existed. It's like forging steel. The heat and the pressure make it stronger. You've got to embrace those obstacles, learn from them, and use them to fuel your fire. Every setback, every bump in the road is just a part of your journey. And when you encounter an obstacle, don't just look at it as something that's in your way. Look at it as a chance to rise. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Because it's not about the challenge itself, it's about how you respond to it. Think about those moments when you feel like giving up, when the weight of the world feels like it's crushing you. In those moments, you've got a choice. You can let it defeat you, or you can let it propel you. You can choose to wallow in self-pity, or you can stand up and say, I refuse to be broken by this. It's that choice that defines you. It's that choice that separates the dreamers from the doers. And here's the real kicker, overcoming obstacles builds character. It builds your strength, your perseverance, and your resolve. It shows you what you're really capable of. When you get to the other side of that obstacle, when you look back and see what you've conquered, you'll realize that you're not just stronger, you're unstoppable. Those experiences become part of your foundation, the bedrock of who you are. So when life throws an obstacle your way, don't shy away from it. Don't be afraid to face it head on. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it shape you into the person you're meant to be. Because every obstacle is a chance to grow, to evolve, and to shine brighter than ever before. Remember, it's not the obstacle that defines your journey, it's how you rise to meet it. So rise up. Show the world what you're made of, because you've got this, and the best is yet to come. You know, life has a funny way of testing us, doesn't it? Just when you think you're on solid ground, just when you feel like you've got it all figured out, boom, the universe throws you a curveball. That's life. It's unpredictable, it's messy, and it can be downright challenging. But here's the thing, it's in those moments of uncertainty that we discover who we really are. It's when we're faced with adversity that we find our true strength. Think about it. Every single person you admire, every single success story is filled with moments of doubt, of struggle, of questioning whether they're on the right path. But what separates the winners from the rest is how they respond to that uncertainty. They don't let fear dictate their choices. They don't run away from challenges. Instead, they embrace the unknown. They step boldly into the darkness, trusting that they have what it takes to navigate through it. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. There are days when you'll feel like you're swimming against the current, where every step forward feels like it's 2 steps back. But those are the moments that build your character. Those are the moments that teach you resilience. Because when you're faced with uncertainty, you've got to dig deep and trust yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities, in your vision, and in your strength to overcome whatever comes your way. Look, everyone wants to feel secure. We all want that sense of control over our lives, over our futures. But the reality is that control is an illusion. Life is unpredictable, and the more you try to hold on tightly, the more likely it is to slip through your fingers. So instead of fighting against it, lean into that uncertainty, embrace it, use it as an opportunity to grow, to explore new possibilities, to stretch yourself beyond your comfort zone. When you face uncertainty, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I adapt? What new path might this open for me? It's a chance to get creative, to think outside the box, to discover parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed. Remember, growth often happens in the spaces we least expect. It's the times when we're uncomfortable that we're most likely to evolve. And let's be real, nothing worth having comes without some risk. Nothing worth achieving comes without a little uncertainty. You can't get to the next level without stepping out into the unknown. You've got to be willing to take that leap of faith, to trust that if you fall, you'll get back up. You've got to have the courage to move forward even when the path isn't clear. So the next time you find yourself in a situation that feels uncertain or overwhelming, don't panic. Don't let fear paralyze you. Take a deep breath, ground yourself, and remember you've faced challenges before and you've come out stronger. Trust in your journey. Trust in yourself. Because when you lean into uncertainty with confidence and courage, that's when the real magic happens. That's when you uncover new opportunities, new strengths, and a deeper understanding of who you are. Embrace the journey, embrace the unknown, and know that you have what it takes to navigate whatever life throws your way. And when you come out on the other side, you'll find that the uncertainty was just a stepping stone to something greater. So step boldly into that unknown, because that's where you'll find your true potential waiting for you. You know, we live in a world that's always pushing us to chase after the next big thing, the next promotion, the next win. But I want you to pause for a second and think about this. Success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become along the way. It's about the impact you have on others and the legacy you leave behind. Because when all is said and done, it's not the accolades or the trophies that matter most, it's the relationships you build and the lives you touch. Every day you have the opportunity to influence the people around you. Whether it's your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone is watching how you handle life's challenges. They're looking to see how you respond when the going gets tough. Your actions, your words, your choices, they all send a message. And the most powerful message you can send is one of integrity, kindness, and compassion. Now, I'm not saying it's always easy. There will be moments when you're tempted to take the easy road, to cut corners, to put yourself first. But when you do that, you're not just sacrificing your integrity, you're also missing out on the opportunity to lift others up. You're missing the chance to inspire someone who might be watching you, someone who's looking for a role model. Every time you choose to be kind, to help someone in need, to lend a listening ear, you're creating ripples that can turn into waves. You never know how one small act of kindness can change someone's life. You might not see the immediate impact, but trust me, it's there. And over time, those ripples build a legacy that says you were here, that you made a difference, that you cared. Think about the people who have influenced your life. Who are the ones you remember? It's not just the ones who achieved great things, it's the ones who were there for you, the ones who supported you, the ones who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. Those are the ones who left a mark on your heart. And that's the kind of legacy you want to create. So as you pursue your dreams, don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't get so caught up in the grind that you forget to lift others along the way. Make it a point to encourage someone, to mentor someone, to share your knowledge and experience. Because when you do, you're not just building your own success, you're helping to build the success of those around you. Remember, success is a team sport. It's about collaboration, about lifting each other up, about creating an environment where everyone can thrive. And when you foster that kind of atmosphere, it not only enriches the lives of others, but it enriches your own life too. You'll find that the more you give, the more you receive, the more you invest in others, the more fulfillment you'll find in your own journey. So, as you move forward, think about the kind of legacy you want to leave behind. What do you want people to say about you? What do you want your impact to be? Live with intention. Live with purpose. Because in the end, it's not just about achieving greatness, it's about becoming a great person, a great leader, a great friend. That's the true measure of success, how you uplift others and how you create a life that matters, not just for yourself, but for everyone you encounter along the way. Because when you leave this world, it's those connections, those relationships, and that legacy of love and kindness that will truly define you. And that, my friends, is a life worth living. So as we wrap up this journey we've taken together today, I want you to carry these thoughts with you. Life is a road filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, and it's in the moments of struggle that we find our true selves. Remember, no pain, no gain. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's a way of life. Embrace the hard work, the obstacles, and the uncertainty, because each challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to rise above. Keep in mind that success is not just about reaching the finish line. It's about the journey, the people you meet along the way, and the impact you have on their lives. It's about building character and resilience and leaving a legacy that inspires others long after you're gone. So I encourage you to dig deep, find that fire within you, and let it burn bright. Be disciplined in your efforts, be patient in your pursuits, and be bold in your actions. When you encounter obstacles, don't shy away. Instead, confront them head on, knowing that you have the strength to overcome anything that comes your way. And as you chase your dreams, don't forget to lift others as you climb. Share your knowledge, extend a helping hand, and create a legacy of kindness and compassion. Because when you inspire others, you create a ripple effect that can change lives. At the end of the day, it's about who you become through the trials you face and the love you share. So step into the world with confidence, with courage, and with a heart full of purpose. Embrace the challenges, cherish the relationships, and always remember that you have the power to shape